More FPL. Welcome to my Gameweek 12 preview, where I discuss captains and transfer tips. Despite tough recent fixtures, Mo Salah's in fine form as my number one pick for captaincy this week. It's 4 goals and 2 assists while facing Chelsea, Arsenal, Brighton and Aston Villa. Overall, he's the top point scorer this season with 8 goals and 6 assists in 11 games. His request to be omitted from Egypt's squad was granted, so he'll be well rested. He faces Southampton this week, who are rooted to the bottom of the league, on just 4 points. They have the joint 4th worst defence, conceding 21 goals, so an average just under 2 per match. I'm expecting Salah to register at least a couple of returns, and he could get a big haul. His recent form hasn't been great, but Cole Palmer is my number 2 pick for captaincy this week. He's blanked in 3 out of the last 4 matches, but did get a double-digit haul against Newcastle. He has had a tough run of fixtures in that time though, including Liverpool and Arsenal. He's only behind Mo Salah for overall points, with 7 goals and 5 assists in 11 games. He reported for England duty, but after assessment returned to Chelsea to continue his rehab. The FPL site says a knock with a 75% chance of playing, so I think he'll be fine. He faces Leicester this week, who sit just outside the bottom 3, which is 10 points from 11 games. They have the joint 4th worst defence, conceding 21 goals, so an average of just under 2 per match. I'm expecting at least 1 goal or assist from Palmer this week, and maybe even a couple of returns. Following a recent uptick in form, Bruno Fernandes is my number 3 pick for captaincy this week. Under interim manager Ruud van Nistelrooy, he managed 2 goals and 2 assists in 2 games. Bruno's expected to take up one of the 2 advanced midfield roles under new manager Ruben Amorim. As such, you still expect him to be heavily involved in any goals Man United score. Overall, he's got 2 goals and 4 assists, so a pretty quiet season so far by his standards. After Portugal qualified in the Nations League, he didn't feature in their second match, so should be well rested. He faces Ipswich this week, who sit just outside the bottom 3 with just 8 points from 11 games. They have the joint 2nd worst defence, conceding 22 goals, so an average of 2 per match. I'm expecting at least 1 goal or assist from Bruno this week, and maybe even a couple of returns. More FPL. Alexander Isak is only the 10th top point scoring forward, despite being priced $8.5 million. He had a pretty slow start to the season, plus he then missed a couple of games through injury. Since returning though, he blanked once and then got 3 goals and an assist in 3 matches. Those 3 matches were against tough opponents as well, in Chelsea, Arsenal and Nottingham Forest. Aside from Liverpool, Man United and Spurs, the fixtures look pretty good all the way to Gameweek 25. I think he's a good buy if he fits your squad structure, especially if you're going without Haaland. Wissa is the 7th top point scoring forward and 4th in his price range. A brace before the international break has made him a top target for managers this week. Since his return from injury, he's been in fine form with 3 goals and an assist in 3 starts. Overall, he has 6 goals and 2 assists in 7 starts, so a good return for his price. Brentford as a team have the joint 2nd best attack and indeed defence in the league. The fixtures list has been relatively kind to them up to now, and the next 2 still look nice. From Gameweek 14 though, they toughen up until Gameweek 22 against Liverpool. If I owned him, I'd hold for at least the next 2, but I don't think I'd be buying at this point. The FPL site says a knock with 75% chance of playing, so I think he'll be fine. For his price, I prefer Matheus Cunha, Jorgen Strand-Larsen, Danny Welbeck or João Pedro. Emil Smith-Rowe is 6th top point scoring midfielder and top of the budget bracket. He started the season well, then had a few blanks, and his form has now picked up again. A goal and an assist in the last 3 games have come in easier fixtures than those that preceded it. Wolves this week looks inviting, but that's then followed by a trickier run until Gameweek 17. If I owned him, I'd hold him for at least this week, but I don't think I'd be buying at this point. I don't think he's a bad option right now, but for his price, I prefer Morgan Rogers and Antoine Semenyo. Thanks so much for watching. Like, subscribe and turn on notifications for more FPL content every week. More FPL.